9/11 attacks. That's according to a report from ABC News. The much smaller, by total numbers, more elite branch, the Marine Corps, has 28,048 active duty personnel aged 17 to 19. An Indiana church has raised the bar of community service for congregations across the United States after it helped to wipe out $7.8 million in medical debt for almost 6,000 families across the state. The Mind Unleashed reports that Northview Church of Carmel, Indiana, teamed up with RIP Medical Debt to use its over $40,000 in donations to eliminate the unpaid medical bills of families across 10 communities in Indiana. RIP, which is based in New York, helps families suffering poverty or whose debt amounts to 5% or more than their income. Beneficiaries are informed through the program that their debt is simply wiped out with no strings attached. The church, which has 7 campuses across the state, had originally announced it would abolish $2 million in debt for 2,500 families in those communities. However, once they announced their plan to wipe out the debt in June, various other churches chipped in to help the cause. Before long, the donations more than doubled as Northview congregants clamored to continue the movement. Those donations doubled the effect of the debt relief plan. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Now that multiple Thomas E. Dewey High School sources have confirmed that junior Jessica Milley will soon begin putting out, with many speculating that she'll go all the way with her boyfriend Josh Gibson as early as this Friday, Milley's classmates have been quick to weigh in on the news.
Jessica was sitting at this table when she told Erica that she was finally going to do Josh.
Jessica's pretty hot, so I'm happy with her decision.
I was pretty certain the next girl to start putting out would be Amy Courtley because everybody knows her mom's a slut.
While the majority of students were somewhat surprised that Jessica might give it up at Andy Wheeler's house party this Friday, possibly on one of Wheeler's 2 basement couches, Milley's intentions didn't come as a shock to some. Now that the news is settling in, several Dewey High sources are suggesting that Milley's decision could cause a domino effect in which even more classmates begin putting out in the near future.
I think I'm going to start putting out in January or February, definitely by prom.
Keep checking theonion.com for more news as this story progresses.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. It's Free Talk Live. Welcome to the program. You can dial in toll-free here and take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over waiting for you at discord.lrn.fm. Coming up here tonight, the latest on Facebook's so-called cryptocurrency. Is it crumbling? Looks like some more of their partners have decided they no longer wish to be involved. And we'll tell you about that. Plus, looks like somebody is going to spin off and create Open Libra, which will be an open source free alternative, I guess, or free software, I guess is the right word.
Does that mean Jack Black is going to create Nacho Libra?
We'll find out. I mean, it's that easy to make cryptocurrencies these days, so we'll see. But that's all on the way here tonight. Of course, your calls and thoughts are welcome. And also a New Orleans man facing a felony marijuana charge, but apparently they couldn't get the jury to convict him or to at least even take the case or something. We'll tell you about what's going on with that. I just was sent that story not too long before the show started, so it sounded really interesting to me.
My guess is, from what I've seen of it, that they actually said they wouldn't even consider. So many of the jurors said that they wouldn't consider convicting somebody of a marijuana charge.
They couldn't
even seat a jury, much less get a conviction.
So we're going to talk about all that with you in the studio tonight. It's Ian here.
Nobody.
Captain Kickass.
Captain Kickass joining us, special guest spot. Nice to have you back here.
Woohoo!
Thanks for joining us. So toll-free number again is 855-450-FREE. But the big news of the day, of course, is that you have announced officially your candidacy for governor of the state of New Hampshire.
Nobody should be your next governor if you're in New Hampshire.
Nobody should be in charge.
Nobody should be in charge. Nobody should run things.
Indeed. Well, this is following right up on the tail end of your mayoral campaign, which was your very first foray, if you will, into a full-on foray. You had attempted to run for, I think, a mayor, state rep or senate or something like that in the past, but you were still on probation at the time after your conviction from
I was actually still in jail.
No, there was one time when you tried to run. Remember, we went up to the State House and you were like filling out the form.
That's right. We were going to do that one time before, but I was also...
You were in jail as well, yeah.
I was on the mayor's, or I did sign up to run for mayor when I was in jail as well, because I remember the cooks were amused.
And they rejected that because you were
I was in jail,
offender.
Apparently. It would have been a conflict of interest.
It's kind of poetic, though, right? Since politicians are basically organized crime, so
exactly.
Where better to run a campaign from than
right from the heart of jail?
I mean, the thing is, one of my great qualifications for being governor is I've been a gangster and I didn't hurt anybody, so I can do it better than these guys.
So you didn't get through the primary. The official results were, I think, about 2%, just over 2% of the vote.
2 or 2.5, something like that.
Yeah, you got 47 votes in the primary here, while the two major candidates, if you will, the ones that were incumbent city councilors that were running against one another, they were, I think they got over 1,100 votes each. It was almost a tie between those two. It was literally, at first they'd announced it was a tie, and then they updated the votes. I guess they did a recount, and they found an extra 2 votes for one candidate, and they gave it to him. So that, of course, this was just a primary. There's a full-on race coming up for mayor, but you're out of the race officially. Somebody could still vote for you with a write-in vote at this point, but you've decided to go ahead and just not wait and just announce your candidacy for governor instead.
I think the governor race is a much better spot for me. It would give me the ability to, as mayor, I wouldn't have been able to do anything unilaterally. Okay, I would have had to somehow get the city council to cooperate with me to accomplish anything, and that was unlikely. As governor, I will be able to directly improve thousands and thousands of lives of New Hampshire citizens and former New Hampshire citizens by pardoning every drug crime in history, every prostitution crime in history, every gambling crime in history in New Hampshire, with the exception of anything that involved violence.
Yeah, that's one of the things that bugged me about my time in Seattle, Washington was, they pseudo-legalized marijuana there, but yet there's still non-violent marijuana offenders in jail in the state of Washington. So, that makes no sense. If it's now suddenly legal, well, then the first thing you should do before you let anybody sell a thing, or the government becomes a partner because they tax it 50% at every level of the industry, right, the way it's set up. But the first thing you ought to do is let the people out of prison for what is now currently legal.
And I think that's true of any law that you repeal. If you're repealing the law, you should write right into the repeal bill that the people who were convicted of this law are no longer felons.
I don't think they repealed anything. They just wrote new legislation that said this is how the marijuana industry is going to work in the state of Washington.
Right.
So they circumvented the repeal by just putting new legislation. But still, I mean, from a perspective of morality, it makes no sense at all to have anybody in jail for nonviolent marijuana crimes when I could walk 3 blocks down the street from my then apartment and purchase whatever I wanted.
Yeah, there are people in prison for weed. Well, the dirtbags who put them there are now on the boards of these companies that are selling legal marijuana. Yeah.
And they're
That's
prohibiting
disgusting.
A lot of these people who've been convicted from working in the marijuana industry.
Yeah, I can't work in the marijuana industry unless I pardon myself first.
Well, if there were one in New Hampshire, you couldn't work
There is a medical marijuana industry here.
True. Would you pardon yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially if he broke wind, right?
When I break wind, I fix it.
So if you want to join us, you can. Let's go to Matthew. He's in Louisiana. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Matthew.
All right, I got a Lindsey Graham joke. Tell me if you've heard it. A reporter comes up to Lindsey Graham and says, can I ask you something? And Lindsey Graham turns around and says, war! Why, what was the question?
He said
Nice.
what?
He said war.
Oh, war. Okay, I couldn't quite make it out.
No matter what the question is, war is the answer.
For the government, that's definitely true. Matthew, was that all you had?
No, yeah, that was about all I had. I mean, I was just thinking about all of this in light of Trump withdrawing.
You got any other Friday funnies, Matt?
From
Doesn't sound like it.
No, that was about it. Down here, we're voting for governor, so you've got Satan and Satan's cousin and Satan's brother-in-law.
Really heating up then.
Oh, yeah. That's like, apparently all of these people are worth, absolutely nothing. And for parish president, oh my God, forget about it. Jesus.
So, have you heard about this story out of New Orleans, Matthew, where a man facing a felony marijuana charge, they couldn't find enough jurors to actually sit on a jury?
Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. I hadn't heard about it because, like I said, the elections are taking up all the news coverage. But the people in New Orleans are like, at this point, marijuana? Really? No. Scare us with something a little bit more serious, like Chinese fentanyl.
Well, of course, New Orleans, or not New Orleans, but Louisiana has been known for being incredibly harsh on cannabis arrests over the years.
New Orleans itself is so laid back that, the biggest thing that the people of New Orleans are worried about is, the drainage system. You have to keep the drainage system going. Otherwise, don't worry about spending your time in jail. You're going to drown.
Yeah.
Matthew, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
It's hard to keep the drainage system working when you're beneath sea level.
Yeah, that's true. They learned that a few years back.
So do you suppose that this is this unfindable jury or whatever, is this nullification in action? I mean, it sounds like nullification.
Well, it's pre-nullification. Yeah. They made a mistake. If you're going in to nullify as a juror, then you really should not tell the prosecutor that.
Yeah, you don't want to telegraph it.
And you don't put it in the questionnaire. Don't put it in anywhere. Let it be your little surprise. You're saving a life. If you have to tell a couple of lies, it's okay.
There's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts. We'll tell you more about what happened in New Orleans with this case. And, of course, take your calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind. 855-450. Free is the toll-free number. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click master notes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
In an unsettling video released over the web this week, Buddhist extremist cell Kamathana vowed to unleash a massive wave of serenity and nirvana all across the West. Members of the group threatened to implement such severe measures as tranquil chanting, meditation sessions, and eye-opening koans, and assured U.S. leaders of the group's absolute commitment to engulfing Americans in complete and unyielding enlightenment. Here now is a clip from the video.
We will not cease until every city, from New York to London, succumbs to a state of spiritual harmony. Prepare yourself.
Sources confirm that the Pentagon responded to the film by ordering immediate tactical bombings throughout Tibet. And in tech news, the inventor of the Gromdar says he's determined to put a Gromdar in every American home. In other news, a woman who had almost formed a healthy sense of self joins social media, and an area man can remember exactly where he was and what he was doing when he assassinated John F. Kennedy.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to take control of the airwaves by dialing in toll-free. You don't have to call about jury nullification or pre-jury nullification, in this case in New Orleans, where it looks like they couldn't even find enough jury members to sit on a jury for a marijuana charge, felony-level marijuana charge. We'll get deeper into that story, and your calls and thoughts are welcome about whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And the captain.
And do want you to know about Liberty.menu. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then Liberty.menu is the place for you to list the things that you do, like, say, your business or maybe an event that you help promote or coordinate. Perhaps you have digital content that you're the creator of. You'd like to promote that too. There are categories for all those things over at Liberty.menu. It's like a libertarian business directory, and it's very, very nice. It looks good. It's easy to use. It's free. So go to Liberty.menu, unless, of course, you don't want free publicity for the things that you are doing. So, again, that's Liberty.menu. And, you know, sometimes you don't want people to know you're a libertarian. I don't live that way, but there are some people who are like that. If you want to get some free exposure for the things that you're into, go to Liberty.menu. As we go to the phones and back to your calls and thoughts with Dave in Colorado. Is this Dave Ridley?
Yes, this is normally Dave Ridley in New Hampshire, but I'm still in Colorado.
Dave, welcome back to Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Dave's not here.
Hey.
Dave's not here, man.
So the crisis in Kurdistan is an interesting libertarian ethical question.
I don't know what the crisis is. Can you explain it to me?
Okay, so basically, as I understand it, Trump sort of summarily withdraws U.S. Trigger troops, small number of them that were kind of there to keep the peace between Kurdistan and Turkey to some extent. He just pulls them all out, gives Turkey the green light to go in. that's my understanding of the situation. And so the Turks are just like slaughtering the Kurds right now. And
Okay, so actually this is basically what libertarians would call for, right? Is removing the U.S. troops from around the world.
Yeah, we do want that to happen. This is one of those cases where it's probably the least. These troops are probably doing less harm than most U.S. troops, and they're certainly the Kurds wanted them to stay. So, what do we do about it? Well, we can't advocate for the use of tax dollars to fix this problem like so many Americans are doing right now. The ones that want the troops to go back in. I had a couple of ideas for what we as individuals can do about this, and I've done a couple of things myself. But one thing that I think would be useful is if you've got any kind of organization, there's no reason why you have to be a government to recognize another country, right? Kurdistan wants independence, just like some of us in New Hampshire want independence. And there's no reason why the average organization can't just go ahead and recognize Kurdish independence themselves. So I would encourage anyone that runs any kind of organization of any size, if you can get away with it, just have your organization recognize them. I've got a poll up now. I run nhexit.com, so I've put up a poll there. Should we recognize Kurdistan?
Well, excellent. Okay.
Groovy.
What else? Anything else?
Well, there are many other things that could be done that probably most people haven't thought of. One idea would be, any American with a passport can just go there, and there's no reason why it has to be U.S. Government officials who are there trying to discourage Turkish action, and an average U.S. civilian could do it, especially if they get pressed.
Yeah, if you want to go fight for Kurdistan, then be my guest. Just don't make me pay for it.
I'm not necessarily saying fight. I'm saying that's more like be there as a human shield. I don't think I can get a passport, so I don't think I can do it myself. But anyone that has a passport can. U.S. officials could always resign and go do something themselves. And most of us live within 100 miles of a Turkish consulate. There's no reason you can't go straight to the consulate and demonstrate. I've done something. I did something not so different inside the Bulgarian embassy during the Cold War, so it can be done.
Yeah, if you care a lot about this particular conflict, then there are ways for you to get involved that don't involve you demanding that the government goons extract wealth from your neighbors who may not care about the conflict, who may not want to pick sides or get involved. Because I don't know anything about it. I wouldn't want to say for sure that these Kurd guys are good and the Turkish guys are bad. I bet there's bad guys on both sides. That's just my guess, knowing governments and how they tend to work. But like I said, my level of ignorance is near 100% on this particular conflict. And so therefore, I shouldn't be forced to take one side or the other. And I certainly shouldn't be forced to fund some sort of middleman going in there and trying to keep the peace. I'm in favor of peace, but I'm not in favor of it if it has to be brought at the point of a gun against the people in the United States, because that's what backs up all government programs. So any money that's going to pay troops that are in this area is being forcibly extracted from people, and that actually decreases peace right there.
There is you could say there are no hero nations, but there is a long history in Kurdistan of betrayal by the West and relatively moderate behavior by the people who are, considering the nasty neighborhood they're in. This is a people that behave with an unusual amount of dignity and restraint. That's just not normally found in that part of the world, especially while they're all at war for years on end. So I think there's something compelling about their case. And as a secessionist, it especially reaches my heart.
Dave, thank you for the call tonight. That's Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. According to, looks like NOLA.com, as in New Orleans, Louisiana. They are reporting here, Matt Sledge writes that all New Orleans prosecutors had to do was convince 6 people that a waiter at a famed French Quarter restaurant was guilty of a felony marijuana charge. But as it turned out, there weren't enough people willing to consider that possibility on Tuesday. Potential jurors who said they don't think marijuana should be illegal helped scotch the planned trial of Antoine's server Jabbar Kenzie before he could face the music. He was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute after cops caught him with an ounce.
Oh my God. That's a huge amount.
Wow.
Of pot on Bourbon Street. Call it a sign of the times. Ad hoc criminal district court judge Dennis Waldron halted the selection process after 20 out of 25 potential jurors were dropped and no more jurors remained in the pool for the day. Some jurors were let go for other reasons, but the judge said Wednesday that a, quote, significant number were dismissed on prosecutors' challenges. The judge specifically highlighted the jurors who voiced their opinions on, quote, whether or not marijuana should be the subject of criminal laws outlawing it. So this was one of the questions during the jury selection process, or voir dire, as they call it in Latin.
Which is actually it's French for jury tampering.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well,
it's French. It's not. It doesn't really mean jury tampering.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to speak French. But criminal laws outlawing it. So they asked the question of the potential jurors. They just asked them straight out for their opinion about cannabis. They want to know if they had a preconceived notion about this particular issue, and they want to pick the jurors that supposedly don't, right? The ones that, well, I don't have any opinion about that, or whatever, or that they support the laws. Obviously, they're going to let those people on the jury if they can, but so many of them were opposed to the laws. They basically, I don't know if they're going to scrap the process entirely or just try it again. We'll get into more on the story. You can also share your thoughts. Is this the end of marijuana prohibition we're seeing? I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you watch this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning, as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Just when you thought the news was good about this New Orleans case, wait till you hear the rest of the story. We'll tell you about that coming up here in a moment. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you right now over at discord.lrn.fm. So hop in to one of those, and then you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And tonight in that studio, it's Ian here.
Nobody.
And the captain.
So, again, toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And I want to make sure you know about local.bitcoin.com. It is a trading platform, and there are a lot of trading platforms out there on the internet for cryptocurrency. This one's specific to Bitcoin Cash. There are dozens of payment methods that you can use, but what really makes local.bitcoin.com special are the privacy features, meaning they are not interested in knowing who you are. There's no ID requirement to sign up for the site, and the communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted, so you actually have privacy for the first time, from what I can tell from pretty much any trading platform out there. It's pretty cool. Go to local.bitcoin.com, and you can get started trading Bitcoin Cash at local.bitcoin.com. Maybe you're new to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Get started over at bitcoin.com. It's a great place to go and learn some of the basics. As we go back to your calls and thoughts more about this New Orleans cannabis case where jurors refused to even be seated on the jury over in New Orleans, where a man was facing felony cannabis distribution charges. We'll tell you more about that. But Travis is on the line in Jackson, Michigan. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Travis.
How you doing today?
Hey, what's on your mind?
Hello?
Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I was listening today, and I just heard your advertisement for free ounce of Kratom.com, and I'm definitely doing it. I just called in to talk about Kratom a little bit. Kratom saved my life.
Really?
And if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of great testimonials about it. And
how did it save your life?
I had anxiety and depression, and I was an alcoholic, and it was difficult. And eventually I got off alcohol. I don't touch the stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I started using Kratom, and it gives me energy. It makes me, it helps quite a bit.
Did you use it to get off the alcohol? Because some people have said they've used Kratom to break addictions. Or did you beat alcohol before you started using Kratom?
I beat alcohol before. I was off alcohol for about a year, and then I got on the Kratom. The thing about Kratom is that the big pharmaceutical companies want to shut it down because they're making all the money off these pills. And Kratom can help anyone with their pain. It helps with a lot of things. It can help with anxiety, depression. Like when I do my Kratom, it just goes away. And they're trying to make it illegal. They're trying to make it illegal.
I know there are some states where it already is illegal. And if I recall correctly, the federal government several years ago had a proposal to add it to the schedule, right? The drug schedule, where they basically they wanted to put it. I don't know if it was Schedule 1 that they wanted to put it on, but they wanted to add it to that schedule where any of the scheduled drugs, it's going to be some sort of a criminal charge if you get caught with it. They failed at doing this because so many people who have stories like you, including people who have defeated addiction or whatever with Kratom, came out and said, "Look, this helped me," and they wrote so many impassioned pleas to these bureaucrats that these bureaucrats actually didn't move ahead with the prohibition. It was shocking that they were actually talked out of it, but that's what happened. But as you pointed out, it hasn't stopped the state governments from trying to and successfully prohibiting it. So, go ahead.
Isn't Kratom naturally derived? I mean, isn't it similar in that it's not processed?
Yes, I mean it's processed by humans who are
but I mean,
processing a plant.
What's it derived from? It's a plant.
Yeah,
right?
it's a coffee-related plant of some sort.
Look, it's not a coffee-related plant.
That's what I've read.
We'll try it. You guys should try it. It's great.
I have.
It's mitragynine. It's kind of like an opiate, but it's not an opiate. It's leaves from a tree. So there's a kratom tree, and there's leaves from it. Now, there's a few different strands. There's red, white, and green. And like green, I do green because green gives me energy. And the way it works is you can take it in several different methods. It doesn't taste that good, but I mix mine with coffee, and I take the green strands because they're much more energy. I drink, and there's many different kinds of sub-strands. There's like I do green Vietnam or.
And have you had any negative effects? Is it anything on the negative side that you've experienced?
It is supposedly habit forming. What have you experienced, Travis?
Yeah, it's habit forming. It definitely is. But for me, it's better than the alternative because addiction runs in my family and stuff like that. So I have an addictive personality. So it's better for me to do this.
You've been more productive, basically, on this product than others that have harmed you, is what you're saying.
Yes, because when I get drunk, I'm useless. But if I take Kratom, I can go to work. I can function.
Yeah, it's hard to work effectively when you're wasted. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Travis. I appreciate the story. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I swear I read that it was somehow related to the coffee plant. I guess I'll have to take another look at that. But I did do a little experimenting with Kratom, as did you, Nobody, over the last few weeks. Yeah, and you had a pretty amazing effect, at least on one occasion.
Yeah, it's
and your ADD, is that right?
Yeah, it really seemed to be helping me with the ADD on one particular day. The issue that I have with it is I found it unpredictable in terms of how much effect it was going to have and how much to take in order to get the effect that I wanted. But that might be something that over time I could learn to control. So still I would rather have Adderall or Provigil these days, but I would definitely be open if there was somebody who could show me how to dose it. I would definitely be open to trying Kratom for that also.
The reason I asked the caller was that I've heard nothing but positive effects from the people who have tried it for a variety of things, whether it's depression, anxiety, ADD, aches and pains, chronic knee, guy got injured in high school playing football or whatever, and his knee's been killing him his whole life, and he takes some Kratom and he can walk without pain again, like, oh, that's weird, So that's why I was asking the caller. I haven't heard anybody say, I've taken it and I've had some kind of negative effect. I've heard zero.
Yeah, it does say here, just looking at the Wikipedia article about Mitragynina, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Mitragynina speciosa, which is commonly known as Kratom. It says here it is in the coffee family. So that may explain why it does have a habit-forming aspect to it, why it does have kind of an uplifting feel to it. I'll say this, John Bush, who's the longtime liberty activist that is behind the company that actually is advertising with our podcast. I think the ads are on the radio as well, but freeounceofkratom.com, that's his site Brave Botanicals. He's the one who sent us kind of like a variety pack so we could try out some of the different types here.
The sampler pack.
Yep. And so I did try the Green Dragon, I think was what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And that one definitely, I felt like, maybe a little more productive on that. But I don't have like ADD, so it wasn't like a, oh my God moment for me or anything like that. It was pleasant. It didn't distract me from getting things done. It seemed to help with focus maybe a little bit for me. So it wasn't unpleasant, and I did it several days for like a week in a row. And then I noticed that my nose was itching. And I wasn't snorting it. I wasn't.
You didn't want to be known as that guy.
I wasn't snorting the Kratom. But I kept itching like the bottom part of my nose, and I looked it up, and that's not uncommon. That's a side effect for some people, maybe not for everybody.
Okay,
that's a side effect of opiates as well.
That's right, and it does affect your opiate receptors, as I understand it, which is one of the reasons why it helps people get off of the serious opiates. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free, you bring up whatever you want here. Take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
And you can join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. And you can help support Free Talk Live like Leah H. has done with the Free Talk Live AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is a simple one. If you like what we do and you want to help support Free Talk Live, then please become an amplifier like Leah H. has done. And you can, for $5 a month, help us get on more radio stations. We're on over 200 stations as of now, over an entire week. And we can be on 300 or 400. It's definitely possible, but it does take money. It does take time. It takes outreach. And that's what the AMP program helps us do. So you'll get some cool perks, some benefits being an amplifier at amp.freetalklive.com. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. PayPal, credit card, Bitcoin, BTC. You can sign up with any one of those at amp.freetalklive.com. Back to your phone calls and thoughts. Brian is on the line in Colorado Springs. Brian, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're on the air.
So, I just had a couple of questions for you guys. Is that Rob that's running as nobody?
Rob?
Rich.
Yeah, who's running as nobody for governor?
Nobody's running as nobody for governor.
I am the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
You changed your name.
Yeah, Rich. Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I legally changed my name to Nobody, though.
Oh, nice.
He got some press for it, too, right?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah. Check out Boston Globe. Check out electnobody.com, and you'll see some pointers.
Yeah, I want to do a press rundown probably this weekend if I get a chance, just kind of listing all the different press you got over the last week, because there was a little bit of it. I mean, it went as far as, what, the UK, I think?
I was going to say, there was a Metro UK article or something.
Yep.
So, nobody.com, is that where you...
electnobody.com.
Where you go to donate? Can you donate to that?
You can send a gift. I don't accept campaign contributions because that means I would have to do paperwork. But you can send me a gift, and a great deal of, and I have dedicated my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor to the pursuit of liberty. So it will certainly help me in the fight.
Okay, all right. And on nobody, you just send a gift. Is that it? You have your Bitcoin wallet on there, or what?
If you go to electnobody.com, there is a donate tab, which probably I guess should be a gift tab. And there's a Bitcoin Cash. There's a PayPal address that you can send to Stellar Lumens and Dash.
Very good. Brian, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. So again, that's electnobody.com. Although it made me curious what happens when you go to nobody.com, and it doesn't really seem to be, it says be a nobody. And there's like generic stock footage of people walking on the street.
Interesting.
Not really sure what the point of it is.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, check electnobody.com. That's the official campaign website, and that is where you announced today, Nobody, that you are officially running for governor here in New Hampshire in 2020. And this actually makes you the second declared candidate in the Republican race, the first being the current governor, Chris Sununu, who I believe is on his second term right now. So it sounds like he's going for a third term in 2020 here in New Hampshire. For listeners that are unfamiliar, it is a 2-year term for governor. So most states are used to like 4 years. I think that's pretty common in most places. Here it's only 2. So you basically get in and you're already on your way out the door. 2 years is not a long time.
Yep.
So they always have to keep defending their positions.
And what was the bit about why you declared as Republican? Is it because the Libertarian Party isn't recognized or something?
That's one reason.
Well, because the system is rigged,
well,
and also because I'm not a fan necessarily of running joke candidates in the Libertarian Party. And I'm not completely that, but I'm partially that. So I want people to continue to take the Libertarian Party seriously, and I want people to take the Republican Party less seriously.
So does this mean you're not going to be searching for a Libertarian cross-nomination?
Well, I believe that I will know whether I have the Republican nomination before the Libertarians have to choose.
I don't think you will.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how I'm going to strategize on that then.
Okay.
We shall see.
So a part of the other reason why he did this, beyond the fact that it's hard to be a Libertarian candidate, even if you weren't considering yourself a partial joke candidacy, and I don't think it's a joke. I mean, it's a funny thing, but you really are running for governor. You would take the office if you were elected.
I would definitely take the office, and I've got my first day in office mapped out already. It's going to be spent signing pardons.
I wonder if you have to sign everyone individually, or can you sign like a group pardon where you only have to sign it once and it just affects an entire group of people?
I'm hoping that I'll just be able to list out make a whole list of people and sign it once.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
If not, I will try to get a rubber stamp made of my signature. And
that's a good plan. So check them out at electnobody.com. We also had a call in about the Kratom plant. We were talking about the news out of New Orleans with a guy who they couldn't even find a jury to bring him up on felony cannabis distribution charges. So we can talk about all those things. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So back to the story here by NOLA.com about a man who was a waiter at a restaurant and caught with an ounce of marijuana. The police charged him.
Does it say how he got caught? Because, I mean, it's not uncommon for people in the food service industry or the alcohol industry to be stoners.
Yeah,
and,
very common.
I mean, and an ounce isn't that much, so it's like, it sounds like...
I'm guessing he was smoking out back of out front of the restaurant or something like that, and they just probably smelled it and got him. That's my guess.
It sucks.
How else? I mean, what's the most common way to get caught? Some cop smells it, right?
Yeah.
Or they harassed him for some other reason, patted him down, and they found it that way. I would say it's probably one or the other, but that's pure speculation. But here's the rest of the story. So again, the good news here that we were cheering for earlier was that they had 25 potential jurors, and 20 out of them, when asked the question about how they felt about marijuana laws, quote, whether or not marijuana should be the subject of criminal laws outlawing it was how it was said in court. They said, yeah, we think it should be legal. And so they got dismissed, which didn't leave enough people for the actual jury. And they only needed 6. It wasn't a full 12-person jury. It was a 6-person jury.
Yeah.
They couldn't even find 6 of them. But unfortunately...
normally the system fails, but in this time it failed appropriately.
Well, the system didn't fail. The people did the right thing.
Right.
And that's good. If enough people refuse to enforce bad laws, they can't prosecute. This is something we want to happen every time they bring somebody up on cannabis or other drug charges where there's no victim, there's no crime. And
he's not harming anybody, leave him alone.
And if jury members had enough information about jury nullification and they knew that they could use their conscience... Because most of them don't know that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think enough people know about jury nullification or what that term even means.
I don't think they chose to nullify. I think it's just marijuana laws have become so unpopular that this just happened naturally where people just honestly answered the question of, I don't believe these are good laws.
It would be so nice if we're turning a corner on that. I mean, like as a society, as people.
It would also be interesting if the jurors who were turned away sued.
For what?
Well, basically, they were deprived of their right to serve on a jury by...
I don't think they're going to have standing because they just got eliminated as part of the standard objections.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
The process. But
It's
here's
irritating they
bad
can do
news.
that.
Well, you want to be irritated? Here's the bad news. Okay, so dude's he got this great luck, right? Jury couldn't be seated in his case. I mean, that is an amazing sign. You would take that as a sign that you've got a good case, right? Like if you were going to move ahead, it's going to be hard to find people to convict you. Mm-hmm. But on Wednesday, prosecutors agreed to amend Mr. Kenzie's felony charge to a misdemeanor under a plea agreement. Kenzie agreed to spend 12 weekend days in jail and forfeit the $100 in cash that he was carrying with him on Bourbon Street in January. Kenzie's sentence is far shorter than the years he might have faced if he'd been convicted as charged. His attorney said it showed that the district attorney's office bowed to the people's will on marijuana crimes. So instead of going ahead and saying, go ahead, take me to trial, keep trying to seat a jury, good luck, he took a plea.
Yeah. And
Guilty.
so now he gets a mark on his record, and
misdemeanor
it's going to have all
conviction.
sorts of effects on him later on, and we know how it goes. We've heard the story.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. They got a conviction, and he gets to go spend 12 weekend days in jail. So it's basically 6 weekends he's going to sit in jail. So at least he gets to go to work during the week. But that's crap. More coming up here. You can join us, take control of the airwaves. The latest on Libra is next.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission. Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power, but there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,494, silver at $17.50, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,547. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a group of angry farmers in southern Mexico captured the mayor of their village before dragging him through the streets while tied to the back of a truck, after villagers claim that he failed to deliver on major election campaign promises. The Mind Unleashed reports that police eventually freed the mayor, who suffered no major injuries following the violent ordeal. El Heraldo de Mexico reports the mayor was abducted Tuesday by an angry group of protesters armed with clubs and rocks, who tied him to the back of a pickup truck before dragging him through the streets as a mob ran after him. Footage of the incident has gone viral. Following the incident, a violent confrontation broke out between the group and local police, leaving about 10 people injured. The state attorney general's office said 11 people were arrested. 8 hours following the incident, the mayor appeared in the local square and said that he would hold leaders of the Santa Rita community responsible. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. This week, America's longest war in Afghanistan turned 18 years old, and so did its youngest soldier. The Mind Unleashed reports that over the span of a now 18-year-long war, an estimated 775,000 American troops have served at least one tour in the historically war-wracked Central Asian country. Very soon, the U.S. will begin sending young service personnel who hadn't even been born at the time of the start of Bush's so-called War on Terror. By the numbers, there are 15,364 active-duty enlisted Army members who are 18 years old, and among them, 1,052 of whom were born after the 9/11 attacks. That's according to a report from ABC News. The much smaller, by total numbers, more elite branch, the Marine Corps, has 28,048 active-duty personnel aged 17 to 19. An Indiana church has raised the bar of community service for congregations across the United States after it helped to wipe out $7.8 million in medical debt for almost 6,000 families across the state. The Mind Unleashed reports that Northview Church of Carmel, Indiana, teamed up with RIP Medical Debt to use its over $40,000 in donations to eliminate the unpaid medical bills of families across 10 communities in Indiana. RIP, which is based in New York, helps families suffering poverty or whose debt amounts to 5% or more than their income. Beneficiaries are informed through the program that their debt is simply wiped out with no strings attached. The church, which has 7 campuses across the state, had originally announced it would abolish $2 million in debt for 2,500 families in those communities. However, once they announced their plan to wipe out the debt in June, various other churches chipped in to help the cause. Before long, the donations more than doubled as Northview congregants clamored to continue the movement. Those donations doubled the effect of the debt relief plan. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Shoppers at a Hannaford supermarket could only speculate that the middle-aged woman angrily demanding a price check on a pack of rice pudding was once a carefree youth.
I don't care what it says on your screen. You know, this is why people go to the store across the street, because of the way they're treated here. You know, nobody likes it here.
Those watching the woman angrily asking for a manager over a $1.20 price difference imagined that the woman was once a fresh-faced college graduate, too spirited and fun-loving to throw a bitter tantrum in front of a room of complete strangers.
She was probably once just some freewheeling college kid, you know? Her biggest concern was which one of her friends she was going to hang out with at night and whether they were going to meet at the movies or a bonfire on the beach. Now look at her. You know, I'll bet if you'd have told her 10 or 15 years ago that one day she'd be ripping into a grocery store clerk with a room full of strangers staring at her, she'd have been horrified. It's sad.
In other news, a few years in the military would have really straightened out a troubled teen killed in Afghanistan, and a man on the verge of self-realization instead turns to God.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE as we launch into the second hour of the show. Coming up, we're going to find out what whiskey plates are. Captain Kickass has something to say about these things. I had never heard of it before. We'll inform you as to what a whiskey plate is. If you live in Minnesota, you probably already know. But 855-450-FREE is our toll-free line. And with you tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And the captain.
We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts. And also coming up, the latest on Facebook's Libra so-called cryptocurrency. There's some interesting news developing there, and of course we'll share that with you. But let's go first to the phones and to your calls and thoughts. Tom is on the line in New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
The November issue of Reason magazine has an article about how last year some cops in Maryland went to serve a court order to take a guy's guns away from him, and he didn't like that, so he wouldn't give up his gun, and so they shot him dead.
Oh, man.
Is that a result of one of the red flag laws?
Oh, yeah, that's what this is all about. These red flag laws, anybody suspected of having unorthodox opinions or anything is automatically somehow not entitled to their constitutional right to keep and bear arms. And without being notified of the proceedings or anything, without the benefit of attorney or anything. But I was just thinking, what's going to be hilarious is when people catch on to the opportunity. Like one person goes down there and makes the report and says, my buddy, he's all flipping out. He's like going nuts and he's got a gun. And so they get the order and they go down there and he's waiting and he's got fully loaded, he's ready, and he just blasts the cops away when they get there. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Well, I don't think it's funny when people are, killed unnecessarily, but I don't blame somebody for trying to defend themselves from an I think, unjust arrest.
Yeah, this sounds a lot like, the same thing that happens with, like, family court, right? Somebody, or child protection services, right? Some, nosy neighbor is like, oh, I don't like what they're doing and how they're doing it. So they file a complaint, and then, child protection services comes and, kidnaps somebody's child for an unfounded claim with zero evidence. And
then you got to fight in the legal system to try to get them back.
Right.
Who knows at what cost?
And if I'm not mistaken, anonymous complaints can be filed.
In a lot of cases, I believe they can.
When your government starts passing red flag laws, that's a red flag. So what you need to do is go disarm them.
Well, that's easier said than done.
It is true.
Yeah. So thank you for the call tonight, Tom. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We also have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. So we were talking in the last hour about this good yet not so good case in New Orleans. On the good side, they couldn't find enough jurors. They couldn't even find 6 jurors who were seatable on a jury because they were all saying that they weren't interested in convicting somebody for possession with intent to distribute. It was a waiter who had an ounce of pot on Bourbon Street. Well, that was the good news. The bad news was the waiter took a plea deal after this good news, where they dropped the charge from a felony to a misdemeanor. He'll sit in jail for 12 weekend days and give up $100 cash that he had on him when he was arrested on Bourbon Street back in January. Now, they did point out here that his sentence is shorter than the years he may have faced if he were convicted as originally charged. And certainly, if you've heard anything about the legal system and the jails down in New Orleans, you can understand why somebody would take a plea deal in a certain, in a case like that. You had commented at the very end of the last hour, Nobody, that you hadn't been given the option to take a misdemeanor reduction. But as I recall, you were given the option to get convicted of a violation or something like that. It was like the day before your trial. They came to you and basically said they were going to drop all the charges if you take the plea.
Well, they said I could take a plea and there would be no time. But I would have still been a felon.
Oh, it still would have been a felony. Oh,
right. The thing is, it would have been 3 years of probation, which
is terrible.
Yeah, and who knows how much time I would have actually spent in prison if I'd had 3 years of probation, because I'm not the sort who's real good at doing what I'm told.
Exactly.
Sooner or later, I probably would have said something obscene to the probation officer about what he could do with his instructions.
I'm completely surprised and flabbergasted.
So what's up with this whiskey thing? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
You want to know about this right now?
Whiskey plates?
I mean, so actually a good friend of mine, somebody that I work with, I was talking about, doing the show, and they actually introduced me to this topic because they live in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I want to thank that person live on the air. Thank you. But here's what it is. In Minnesota, drivers with a valid driver's license who have been convicted of a DUI, that's driving under the influence for, DUI is the comparable. In
case you've been under a rock.
Right. And whose license plates have been impounded. So what this means is if you get arrested for a DUI, they impound your car, and then they also impound your license plates.
They're not your plates anyway. The state owns the plates.
Fact. But they impound them at any rate. And so if the plates that were on your car are impounded, you are required to have special registration plates on any cars registered under their name. So this is scarlet letter stuff, public shaming, right? You've been a bad person and you drank and drove, so here's a scarlet letter for you to drive around town now on any cars that are under your name.
I got to see what these plates look like.
Yeah, they look very feddy. They look generic, right? Generally, these are all the grounds for whiskey plates. 2 DWIs in a matter of 10 years. Multiple DWIs over any length of time. A DWI when the driver's blood alcohol content was over 0.16. A DWI when a child under 16 was in the vehicle. Committing a DWI offense as a commercial driver with a blood alcohol content of 0.04 or above within 10 years of a previous DWI conviction. A person who has a conviction for driving without a valid driver's license after having been canceled as inimical to public safety. There are also certain times that the court can and shall order the impounding of plates following a conviction for driving after suspension, revocation, and cancellation. So, yeah, essentially, they're scarlet lettering people.
In this case, it is a fairly nondescript, generic-looking plate with like a white or grayish background, black text. It says Minnesota at the top. It's got the date of the expiration, and then it says 10,000 Lakes at the bottom, and then the actual license plate number begins with a W. So that's how you can identify the whiskey plates, is that it begins with a W. There's no other real way. So you kind of have to know what these plates are in order to, I suspect a lot of people do know what they are in Minnesota, but it's not like there's a big alcohol bottle, on the plate.
I'm sure it got plenty of press before it became a thing.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
But
started in when was this? When did this start?
I'm not.
It says
certain.
As of 2012, there were 16,000, so it must have been going on for long before that.
Yeah, I'm actually reading from BrunoLaw.com. This is obviously an attorney's office who helps folks who with DUIs and that kind of thing. There's a couple other interesting things here. Can a cop pull you over for whiskey plates? Right? That seems like, because you would think, oh, now I'm a prime target to get pulled over, right? Because now I have this scarlet letter on everything I drive that's in my name. And this says no, and this is at least legally, not just for your whiskey plates. A cop must have another reason. Right. Although whiskey plates are intended to help officers spot drivers who have had multiple DUI convictions, in 2003, the Minnesota Supreme Court ruled that it is unconstitutional for a law enforcement officer to stop a driver solely on this basis. However, officers can still pull drivers over as long as they have a legal basis for it, other than the driver's license plates.
Yeah, in fact, there's another law firm in Mankato that says that if you have whiskey plates, you need to be very careful driving around bar closing time, and be aware that if you're driving even 1 mile per hour over the speed limit, that does give the police a reason to stop you. So they may be less tolerant towards people with whiskey plates, whereas you might get away with 5 miles an hour over or without them. Maybe you won't if you've got the whiskey plate.
Yeah, it's going to push all the judgment calls.
Yeah. More on the way here. If you've actually had to deal with whiskey plates and you want to tell us a story, you're welcome to join us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. Plus, coming up, the latest on Facebook's Libra so-called cryptocurrency. And you can bring up whatever's on your mind as well. It's Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We also have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Just hop into one of those, and we'll get you on the air. In fact, I see somebody in there right now. Actually, he's in the AMP-only call-in line room. We're going to get to that just in one moment. But with you tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And the captain.
Also, want to make sure you know about Edge Wallet. If you are ready to get into cryptocurrency, or maybe you're an old school crypto user and you're looking for a better wallet than what you've been using, check out Edge Wallet. And you can go to, of course, you can just download it for your iOS or Android device by going to your Play or Apple Store and doing that. Or go to edge.app to learn more about the wonderful wallet that I use more often than any other wallet out there. And I've used a bunch of wallets, and I do use more than one. But Edge is my primary wallet because, well, it's great. It's not because they're a sponsor on the show. I was using Edge before Edge became a sponsor. It was my primary wallet before they sponsored Free Talk Live, long before. Anyway, you can hold a bunch of different cryptos, and you can sell and trade and buy all from within the Edge wallet. Is very, very handy. Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Ethereum, various tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Ravencoin, and more. Go and get started and secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. You can go to learn more over at their website, which is edge.app. As we go to your calls and thoughts, we can talk more about whiskey plates or whatever's on your mind. Let's go first to Scott. He's in North Carolina watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Scott.
Yes, butt plug.
Huh?
Butt plug.
Oh, butt plug? Okay, that's beautiful. You waited that long for that? He hung up.
Is this the guy in the amp line?
No, that was not the amp line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
I was going to say, what the heck?
No, if it was the amp line, it would have sounded like this. Gene, the Christian anarchist, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Okay, butt plug, guys.
Sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't
that
that
does
sound better?
sound much better.
Yeah. Discord,
Okay.
man. Discord. Go ahead, Gene.
Now, when you say butt plug, are you talking about that candidate?
Which one? All of them?
And are these?
No, Buttaplug or whatever his name
okay.
is. There's a
Buttaplug.
candidate whose name is almost butt plug.
Gotcha.
Maybe
Isn't there
that's
another
what
one
he
whose name is Beta or Beto or something?
Yeah, there's
Beto.
Beta O'Rourke.
Beta butt plug.
His middle name is Male.
Beto.
What were you calling about, Gene?
I'm calling about China. You know, the influence that China has over the media and over the sports players. This is getting to be a serious issue. And Hong Kong, of course, the Hong Kong thing. I'm really afraid that that's going to end with a lot of violence.
I heard something about this this week. I wasn't on the show in question, but I don't know if it was Wednesday or Monday, but on one of the shows that Mark hosted this week, there was an issue about apparently somebody at a video game tournament said something in favor of the Hong Kong
Free Hong
protesters.
Kong is what he said.
And then I guess China put the screws to some video game company, maybe
Blizzard.
Activision, Blizzard.
Same company that makes World of Warcraft and
they
StarCraft.
cracked down and punished this guy somehow.
Yeah, they kicked him out.
Is that what you were referring
And-
to, Gene?
Well, I'm referring to that as well as other things because
The NBA has been doing the same thing, though.
Really?
we've
Hey,
got
Gene,
the
I don't know what
NBA
that is.
now.
I'm hearing some data. It sounds like data transmission. I don't know if your phone is right next to your headphones or something, but it's actually getting really bad. So I'm going to put you on hold there for a moment. Normally, Discord sounds pretty good, but
I mean, I'm concerned too. I've been loosely monitoring the situation, and my gut. I'm disheartened, right? I feel like it's going to end violently, and it's really sad that that's how it's going to have to be. I'm a little bit.
Wait, what's going to end violently?
The whole Hong Kong thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm a little heartened in that, like, we're seeing liberty memes and phrases being spray painted on the sides of buildings in Hong Kong.
Really?
And like give me liberty or give me death, and that kind of a thing. So like that to me is a positive for freedom in general, but it sucks that a situation like that is how it has to come about.
Yeah, I think they're going to massacre the Chinese government's just going to go in and massacre them like they did in Tiananmen Square is my prediction. And it's really the one good thing that will come out of that is if it happens, then whenever they say, well, give me one reason that you need an AR-15, the answer is so we don't get massacred like Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the answer already is history. Open a frickin' history book.
Yeah, for sure. There is an update here on this video game controversy. According to thedailybeast.com, a small group of Activision Blizzard employees walked out of work on Tuesday afternoon to protest their company's actions against a gamer who expressed support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong during an official live stream. The game publisher behind the multiplayer hits like World of Warcraft and Overwatch banned Hong Kong-based professional Hearthstone player Chung Ning-Wai from the game's lucrative Pro League for a year on Tuesday. Chung, who uses the handle Blitzchung, prompted the ban after saying, quote, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times," unquote, during an interview about his tournament wins. Blizzard's actions forced him to forfeit $10,000 in prize money he had already won.
Wow.
That's really crappy.
Wow.
The, quote, action Blizzard took against the player was pretty appalling but not surprising, said a longtime Blizzard employee. He said further, Blizzard makes a lot of money in China, but now the company is in this awkward position where we can't abide by our values. Well, apparently the value of the company is to do whatever the Chinese government tells them to do.
Yep.
If they had real values, they would have stuck to their guns.
And the NBA is also taking action against against players who speak out.
The
on
NBA,
behalf,
yeah,
the National Basketball Association.
You know how sports players like to speak up from time to time because, well, they're humans and
they might have an opinion.
Right? Yeah,
and they actually have cameras pointed at them, unlike most of us.
Right, and so they take advantage of the thing and express their opinion, and then arguably their employer comes down on them for doing so, and they have to issue apologies for what they said when really, I mean, I don't see any organizations coming forward and going, yes, let's support freedom, let's support liberty, let's support the people of Hong Kong in getting rid of the shackles of their government, and the oppression that they're under. I don't see anybody saying that. And then when they do, there seems to be some sort of action against them by the United States government or some other form of pressure. And it's not the way it's supposed to be.
I wonder what is the worst case scenario for Blizzard if Blizzard were to have not done this. Like if Blizzard didn't just toe the line for the Chinese government, if they just let this guy say what he was going to say, it probably wouldn't have made much of an impact. But what's the worst case? Is China going to somehow stop people from downloading their products? I mean, that would be they do have the great firewall of China. So I realize the Chinese government does try to prohibit certain websites from being accessed. But, would they be able to ban all the Overwatch servers and the World of Warcraft? I mean, how far could they really go with a crackdown against one company and their video games over this?
I don't know, but if Blizzard had any balls, it would have found out.
Yeah, exactly. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever you want. And that is the point here of Free Talk Live. Whether you want to talk about the Chinese crackdown or rather the companies cracking down on behest of the Chinese government, you can. It's Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than I've ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms, and you can join them over at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio tonight, it's Ian.
The nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And Captain Kickass.
Stuff to talk about on the way includes the latest on Facebook's Libra, so-called cryptocurrency. What's going on with that? Well, there's been some interesting developments. And Gene, the Christian anarchist, just called in. We had some technical difficulties, which we ironed out there during the break, so we're going to bring him back.
Sorry, I would like to just introduce you to a portmanteau. If you don't know what that is, it's when you combine two words together.
Right?
Technicalties. I made this up.
Technicalties.
You know immediately what it is. Now it's one word. Technicalties.
More efficient that way.
My gift to you.
So we're going to get back into his call because he called in about the Chinese situation in Hong Kong, where they're basically cracking down on folks in Hong Kong who would rather not be cracked down upon and would rather have some semblance of freedom rather than having the Chinese government imposing its way upon them in a heavy-handed manner. And that actually broke into, as NPR describes it, international headline, international politics barges into the world of video games. We'll tell you more about what's going on with that. But let's bring Gene, the Christian anarchist, back on the line here, since it turned out his headset was bad. So luckily, he had another one. Gene, you're back on. Go ahead.
Okay. The thing that China is using in their tactic is not so much like Tiananmen Square, but they're now hitting a multi-pronged approach like an octopus. They have gotten financially connected to the Hollywood movie industry, to the gaming industry,
right,
to sports broadcasting, to pretty much everything. There's Chinese money involved. Now, the problem is Chinese money comes with a huge hook, a very large thing that you need to beware of, and that is you must not say bad things about China, even if they're true, and especially if they're true, because the Chinese have the ability to shut down their internet and to block everything that they want to block. And they do it. I've been there enough times to where I can tell you that the average Chinese person on the street knows nothing about what's going on outside of China.
Right, because you've
And-
traveled, if I remember your previous calls, right, Gene?
Yes, many times.
Do they know what's going on in Hong Kong?
For the most part, they don't. They only know what they're getting from the media
State
in
media.
China.
State media.
This state media tells how the rioters in China are causing all kinds of problems, and most mainland people believe that Hong Kong is a spoiled stepchild that is rejecting their parent, basically. They don't know anything about the truth of what's going on in Hong Kong. And most of the people in China now can no longer go to Hong Kong. You know, they have a border there, so they stop people at the border. And they will do some killing. I'm sure that they're going to kill some people. There's been a lot of...
it makes me sad.
There's a lot of on Twitter now about a 15-year-old girl who was found naked in the bay, dead, of course.
Oh no!
And what they're doing is they have a bunch of mainland stooges, people from mainland who are coming across the border with government help, and they're going around the streets and they're beating up protesters, they're murdering protesters, they're dressing up as protesters and creating violence,
Right,
so that the news media,
provocateurs or whatever.
Same thing cops do here, but
That's
worse,
it.
I'm
And-
sure.
But they don't have any qualms about murdering people, and that I'm sure that's what
Of
happened
course
to
not.
this
They're the
poor-
government.
Yeah, this 15-year-old girl, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that in the near future. And they're basically going to scare away most of the protesters. But most of those protesters, I got to give them credit. They're actually truly interested in liberty, and they're trying to fight for their liberty. They see that they don't have
Are
any
they interested
future
in
under-
liberty, or are they interested in not being under the thumb of the Chinese government? Because there's two different perspectives. A lot of times whenever you see a government oppressing a certain group of people and they start shouting for freedom or liberty, what they really mean is, we'd rather have our own thugs in charge. We just don't like these thugs.
Well, it's true. I mean, they're not fully awakened to what true liberty is.
Right, they're calling for
But they do-
democracy.
But they do
Well,
recognize
that would be a big
that-
improvement over what they've got, though.
Yeah, they do
Somewhat.
recognize that what Beijing has is not liberty.
Mhm.
They haven't fully acknowledged that falling into a democracy is not liberty either. But at least they're taking steps in the correct direction. Well, I don't know if the correct direction, but they're taking steps
taking
away
steps.
from.
Yeah,
they're taking steps away from the violence of communism.
So, Gene,
And
I'm
whether-
curious, when you do travel over there, and your handle is Gene the Christian Anarchist, right? So, do you have opportunities to speak to people about liberty?
Well, most people can't speak English, so I'm stuck mainly with my wife as translator, and she will not get into anything political. And when I'm in Red China, I don't get into anything political either because I don't
blame
wind
you.
up in
I
a
just
gulag.
I was just curious if whatever it is
Now,
you're
you
doing
don't
gives
travel-
you
We
some
are-
opportunities that the rest of us don't
Yeah,
have.
you don't travel to Red China, you don't travel to Venezuela as a libertarian and start doing outreach because you may end up not
Right.
leaving.
Right.
So we're going to Macau in about a week and a half, and I do sorely want to get over to Hong Kong for one day to see for myself what's going on. My wife is not interested in that, so I might wind up going over alone. I don't know. But at any rate,
I'd love to hear your report on that.
Where is Macau? Is that in Hong Kong?
It's right. Yeah, right across the water. They're right next to each other.
I
There's
see.
just a little bay. There's a large bay between them.
Let
There's
us know
actually a
how it
25
goes, Gene, and thank you for the call tonight. Definitely appreciate it. It sounded a lot better there. And that's one of the nice things about the Discord server is it doesn't matter where in the world you are. You don't have to figure out how to call in. I don't know if you've ever, when you travel to other countries, it's like, okay, how do I dial a phone number here? You got to look it up. You got to figure it out. And, here you just click the room and you join. And as long as you've got an internet connection with, 64 kilobits a second or whatever, you can connect to us. So it's pretty easy. We're going to continue here. We've got Julian in Albuquerque. You're on Free Talk Live, Julian. Hello. That's delicious. What are you eating?
Sounds like Doritos, nacho cheese, I'm thinking.
Fritos, maybe? Pretty lame. All right, let's go on here. We got Onyx on the line in Oklahoma. You're on Free Talk Live, watching on YouTube.
Oh, hey there.
Hey, you're on the air.
Awesome. So I was calling about the Libra thing.
Yeah.
What is all that about?
What is all that about? Does somebody want to field that question?
Well, the basics are that Mark Zuckerberg has decided to jump into the cryptocurrency world and announced that Facebook would be creating a cryptocurrency called Libra or Libra.
Mm-hmm. A supposed cryptocurrency.
I have a question about that myself. Like cryptocurrency, at least the real ones, and Bitcoin Cash, and all of the other subcurrencies that exist, are all permissionless. So
right.
I don't understand.
Meaning that anybody can get into it without having to ask anyone else's permission.
Yeah, so what I don't understand is why Mark Zuckerberg didn't just make one and then put it out there.
Why he did all the pre-announcing and all that?
What's with this pony show, song and dance,
Because it's not permissionless. Because they wanted to have a centralized or more centralized, controllable form of currency that they needed to get people on board with. He didn't want to make it, even though it's Facebook's thing, he didn't want it to look like it was completely under the control of Facebook, so he invited a bunch of these other companies to join the sort of board of directors, if you will. And that's actually what some of the news is about here tonight that I've got to share about what's happening to that 20. There's 28 companies originally, Uber and MasterCard and PayPal and it looks
some
like
awful companies.
Yeah, terrible companies. And some of them have dropped out. So that's what the news is. We'll share that with you on the way as well. And more about China. It's Free Talk Live.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNLife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I have treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNLife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Free Talk Live.
I wanted to ask your listeners about the religion and the people who practice Wicca. What do they think their agenda is? Is it to take over the world? Or?
Oh, no. No, I don't think so.
I mean, because they're somewhat of bullies.
They're bullies? What do you mean?
They bully with the religion themselves. A lot of people are afraid of them.
Can you give me an example?
The Tea Party.
The Tea Party has to do with Wicca?
Well, it's mostly because they're so secretive.
So
the Wiccans.
The Wiccans are secretive and they have a lot of numbers, and they've infiltrated the Tea Party?
Well, they use them, like, for instance, the breakdown of Obamacare that could very well have been the Wiccans using their power to break down the computers.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us online at freetalklive.com. You can also join in on our Discord chats. There are various different channels on the Discord server, and the number one channel during our shows is the on-air chat channel. It's sort of like the default channel for the server, but there are channels about gaming and cryptocurrency and New Hampshire and other topics of interest to the people that might be in those channels. So
I love the not safe for work section. That's my favorite.
There are a couple of not safe for work channels. There's the one where called the Toxic User Zone, where the most offensive people are allowed to be. And then there's another one that's just like for memes, but it's okay to post not safe for work memes there too. So there's a couple of NSFWs, and there's some voice chat channels, and there's actually a cryptocurrency tipping bot in there right now. Gene the Christian Anarchist is throwing out Litecoin in the chat server right now.
I haven't heard much about Litecoin recently.
There's not really much to say about it. It's pretty boring, but you know, people will still trade for it, so it's still there. It was the number 2 cryptocurrency. It came out after
longest time.
Yeah, it was the one that came out first after Bitcoin. So Bitcoin for a few years, and then Litecoin was its first copy. So we'll talk to you about whatever's on your mind. We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. We can discuss more on China and Hong Kong, plus Facebook's Libra currency as well. Let's go first to the phones and to the fun. Macmillion is watching us on YouTube. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello? Macmillion? Macmillan, maybe? Macamillan? YouTube, going once, going twice.
It's the McMillan Man March.
Let's try Pete in Albuquerque. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Last week, you see, me and my buddy Jesse, we were like hiding his car and shit.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio. I don't know if you realize it, but you're on the radio. At least you would have been on the radio if you hadn't have said the S word, because it was so close to the beginning of your call. That person never even made it. Like his voice never even made it to broadcast airwaves. He blew it. Sorry, buddy.
It's the 7 words, right? I call him my godfather, George Carlin.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
I mean, the FCC hasn't passed some rule that indoctrinate or that enshrines the 7 words, but you're pretty safe if you leave those words out. There's probably a couple more that you probably shouldn't say.
Well, and there's some ways of saying things that like the FCC frowns upon, so you just have to be careful.
Look, I know that some of our viewers online don't really understand the rules of broadcast radio. Maybe you've never listened to the radio before, or you don't understand. I thought it was funny. There's a gentleman who has been living here in Keene for the past couple months. He's actually living at your house, nobody. Wes, who's in our chat room. And I shared the video that WHDH television, I think it's WHDH, the Boston Channel 7, it's one of the news channels in Boston. They interviewed you this week. They interviewed nobody for mayor. It was your first TV break is what happened. And they turned it into like a minute and a half long, maybe a minute 40 long news package for, playing on television.
Mm-hmm.
And so I shared that in the Elect Nobody chat room, which we have. There's a Telegram chat, which you can get to from electnobody.com. But I shared that in the chat room, like, hey, check this out. Here's Nobody on television. And I guess I didn't say that it was on television, and so I just kind of shared the video. And he made this comment about how, oh, isn't that cool that they made a little video of it? Like, he thought it was just a normal website that had made a video about Nobody.
Right.
And, like, he didn't even understand. Now, he's like 19.
Right, yeah.
Or 20, I think. I think he just turned 20. And so it was like, oh, you've probably never even seen TV news before.
I
you
find
don't
myself,
know what broadcast television is.
I find myself taking it for granted, particularly when speaking with the younger people.
Young people, yeah.
Yeah, that to me, radio and broadcast came first and was the overriding way that media was, fed to you. And then the internet came upon us. And to me, that still seems like a young technology. But I forget all the time that there are, 20-year-olds that have always had the internet.
Right. They don't need television.
Yeah, they've never not known the internet.
They probably know that TV shows exist, right? Because, things like Game of Thrones are hugely popular,
Yeah.
The Walking
They
Dead.
got Netflix and all that.
They can watch them through various different online means. They're probably not tuning in live to watch it on AMC or Fox or whatever network it's on. So times they are a-changing.
And Free Talk Live does have a contingent of listeners online. I mean, that's,
We do.
And it's, great. I love it.
And what I want to say to those folks is if you're listening to us on, say, Twitch or on DLive, these people said they're watching on YouTube, which is like the worst way to watch, by the way. If you want to watch us, you should be watching us on DLive or Twitch. Those are higher resolution, higher quality video feeds.
And
But
it's
anyway,
not YouTube, which is a bad
and
company.
YouTube's the worst of all of those. I mean, Amazon isn't much better for Amazon owns Twitch.
Yeah, that's true. Amazon's big on the spying on people business, too.
And DLive's run by some Chinese gentlemen as well. So who knows if the Chinese government's behind DLive? We don't know.
Well, if so, we might hear about it, or people might stop hearing us
Or if
after
they pull our
tonight's
channel.
show.
We'll just call it failover.
Yeah. So, we're on a few different options. But if you're out there, you can't say the F word or the S word, or we're going to hit the dump box on you. And yes, I understand that does not affect our video feeds, but that's okay. What you said wasn't prohibited from Twitch or DLive. It's just not allowed on the radio, so we have to knock you out. Now, look, we do have an after show, and Nobody, you had expressed interest in doing one tonight. I don't know if you still want to do that. But we could.
I'd definitely be interested in doing that.
So we can do that. And if we do our after show, that exclusively runs on DLive and Twitch. So you can go to twitch.lrn.fm or dlive.lrn.fm. You can follow us there. Then you can say those things, and we don't have to drop your call or anything like that. So
it's true.
Just do it in the
Captain
right place.
Kickass, you are invited.
I fully intend on attending.
Very good.
Nice.
All right, so that'll be tonight then.
I look forward to cussing in multiple ways, shapes, and forms.
We'll do that at 10:30 Eastern time tonight. So, okay, we ended up talking about this video game controversy, which was in the news earlier this week. It came back up here tonight. And the NPR's Morning Edition did a report on this. I guess it was this morning. So, headline, International Politics Barges into the World of Video Games. Normally in the world of gaming, politics is far away from this world, right? Like, gaming is a world where people go to get away from the real world.
Yeah, fantasy and
right.
Escapism and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, while some of the gamers certainly have their opinions on things, and there's a large Trump contingent or whatever, they tend to stay away from it. For instance, on Twitch, if you are one of these gamers on Twitch where you've got followers, right, like millions of viewers, you're probably wise to not talk about your political beliefs in a situation like that. Or you may offend a certain portion of your viewers. You got 2 million viewers and you want to take a position on who should be president, you might lose a quarter of them, right? Because they could get so upset at you over the thing that you said. So I suspect that a lot of these people in the gaming world keep their opinions to themselves. And now with what happened with Blizzard, this major video game company, cracking down on a game player named Ning-Wai Chung, who professionally goes by the handle Blitzchung, he's based in Hong Kong. So he's his friends are in the middle of these protests. Because remember when we talked about the protests a few weeks back or several weeks ago, there was something like, what was it, 17% of the country was out in the streets or something like that? Like,
right, yeah.
Huge amounts of people.
We can't get 17% to come and vote.
You're right about that in the U.S., yeah. So, I mean, the amount of people that were involved in this were tremendous. So he said, liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times, while he was on the air on this video game competition. And according to a gentleman here, Brian Kibler, who is, I guess, a commentator, because this is like sports now. They've got, color commentary during these game sessions.
They've got, the gaming version of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
So it says here that the response from Blizzard was swift. They banned Blitzchung and made him forfeit his $10,000 in prize winnings. The company said it violated one of their rules, quote, engaging in any act that in Blizzard's sole discretion brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image will result in removal, unquote.
Well, Blizzard, you messed up because it was you who destroyed your image.
No doubt. Kibler says he's never seen anything like it. Quote from Kibler, he says, players who've gotten caught cheating in tournaments have received much smaller penalties that have come much later. And this was, he said, instantly.
Yeah.
Kibler's a popular streamer. He was on deck to be a commentator at the upcoming league finals. But he'd stepped down from the job over the Blitzchung decision, protesting Activision Blizzard's heavy-handedness, though he says he understands it was a business decision. And we'll tell you a little bit more.
It was a dirtbag decision, Blizzard.
Yeah, it was.
It's cowardly, for sure. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want here. Take control of the airwaves. We got hour number 3 on the way. We'll tell you about what's going on with Libra, who's bailing out of their consortium of supporters. Some big names are calling it quits on Libra already, and it hasn't even started yet.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556, or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces, even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com. Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin, but imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,494, silver at $17.50, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,547. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a group of angry farmers in southern Mexico captured the mayor of their village before dragging him through the streets while tied to the back of a truck, after villagers claim that he failed to deliver on major election campaign promises. The Mind Unleashed reports that police eventually freed the mayor, who suffered no major injuries following the violent ordeal. El Heraldo de Mexico reports the mayor was abducted Tuesday by an angry group of protesters armed with clubs and rocks, who tied him to the back of a pickup truck before dragging him through the streets as a mob ran after him. Footage of the incident has gone viral. Following the incident, a violent confrontation broke out between the group and local police, leaving about 10 people injured. The state attorney general's office said 11 people were arrested. 8 hours following the incident, the mayor appeared in the local square and said that he would hold leaders of the Santa Rita community responsible. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. This week, America's longest war in Afghanistan turned 18 years old, and so did its youngest soldier. The Mind Unleashed reports that over the span of a now 18-year-long war, an estimated 775,000 American troops have served at least one tour in the historically war-wracked Central Asian country. Very soon, the U.S. will begin sending young service personnel who hadn't even been born at the time of the start of Bush's so-called War on Terror. By the numbers, there are 15,364 active duty enlisted Army members who are 18 years old, and among them, 1,052 of whom were born after the 9/11 attacks. That's according to a report from ABC News. The much smaller, by total numbers, more elite branch, the Marine Corps, has 28,048 active duty personnel aged 17 to 19. An Indiana church has raised the bar of community service for congregations across the United States after it helped to wipe out $7.8 million in medical debt for almost 6,000 families across the state. The Mind Unleashed reports that Northview Church of Carmel, Indiana, teamed up with RIP Medical Debt to use its over $40,000 in donations to eliminate the unpaid medical bills of families across 10 communities in Indiana. RIP, which is based in New York, helps families suffering poverty or whose debt amounts to 5% or more than their income. Beneficiaries are informed through the program that their debt is simply wiped out with no strings attached. The church, which has 7 campuses across the state, had originally announced it would abolish $2 million in debt for 2,500 families in those communities. However, once they announced their plan to wipe out the debt in June, various other churches chipped in to help the cause. Before long, the donations more than doubled, as Northview congregants clamored to continue the movement. Those donations doubled the effect of the debt relief plan. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Like most married couples, Dale and Barbara Patterson like to shake things up from time to time. The couple of 12 years says they've been able to keep their relationship spontaneous and interesting by bickering in all sorts of different positions and even different rooms.
There was a while there when our petty nitpicking got pretty predictable. Dale would finish harping on some stupid bullshit first, and before I had time to get a word in, he would just let out a groan, roll over, and fall asleep. Now he really takes his time ripping me a new one over every little thing.
Yeah, we'll just pounce on each other the second we get home from work in the evening. And then just go right back at it in the morning.
I mean, sometimes we'll look at each other directly in the eyes when we're having an argument. Other times she turns her back on me and I just scream at her from behind.
We're not exactly shy about doing it in public anymore. Dale gets pretty worked up when there are people around who could be watching or listening.
I still can't believe you forgot.
Not now.
Oh, come on.
I said not now.
Oh,
what?
Don't even.
Don't even what? I asked.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this program. More coming up later on, by the way. 10:30 Eastern Time tonight. We'll kick off an after show on our Twitch and D-Live video streaming platforms. It'll be
excellent.
Yep, it'll be Captain Kickass's first after show.
It will.
Free Talk Live.
We get to pop your cherry.
As we call it, Freer Talk Live. You can join us for that. Just follow our channel on D-Live over at dlive.lrn.fm. Or you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. It will not broadcast on our YouTube channel, so you do need to go to one or the other, Twitch or DLive. It is up to you. All right, so in the last hour, coming up, by the way, we're going to talk about Facebook's Libra and the latest on that. But in the last hour, we ended up on this topic of the Hong Kong-China protest situation, the tensions that are going on there that have, people have opinions about. One guy who's a video game player in these esports, as they call them, competitions, he said something during some kind of a, I don't know if it was like after the game, during like an interview or something like that. I've not actually seen the clip or anything, and we're just reading about it. But it was one of these esports things. Blitzchung Ningguai, who's a pro Hearthstone player. Hearthstone's one of these online strategic card games. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Johnny
Not
Ray.
that game in particular. I've played Magic the Gathering plenty.
It's got some similarities to it. And Johnny Ray, who's a former co-host here on Free Talk Live, is a huge fan. He's made like big time into this game. He's got all the expansion packs, and it's one of those games that you can play for free. Like you can download the game and you can play it to your heart's content. But you can also like buy things to, give the company revenue and upgrade your experience or whatever. So anyway, they have tournaments, and this guy said during the broadcast on the air, he made a statement about supporting Hong Kong. And as a result of that, he was banned from their events. He was suspended for an entire year. And they told him, "Oh, that $10,000 that you won already, well, we're not going to give it to you."
Wow.
And
takebacks? What?
Well, speaking of
scumbags at Blizzard.
Speaking of takebacks, they're backpedaling now.
Oh.
After online
perhaps
boycotts.
A bunch of press?
Yeah, after some negative press, after online boycotts, after people basically, getting rightfully upset about what Blizzard did, they have come out with a statement where Blizzard president, this is according to Kotaku.com, which is kind of like a lefty video game website. Blizzard president J. Allen Brack explained that while Blizzard tries to uphold company values that focus on diversity and global thinking, it also wants to keep esports events focused on games. Blitzchung broke a rule, but Mr. Brack insists that the specific words he said, those weren't the issue. Quote, "The specific views expressed by Blitzchung were not a factor in the decision we made," and he capitalized not. "I want to be clear. Our relationships in China had no influence on our decision. We have these rules to keep the focus on the game. And on
Liar!
Blasphemer!
And on the tournament, to the benefit of a global audience, and that was the only consideration in the actions we took. If this had been the opposing viewpoint delivered in the same divisive and deliberate way, we would have felt and acted the same."
Not.
Except they didn't by their own accord, right? I mean, didn't you say that like this was instant when he, piped in with?
Well,
his
that's what somebody
commentary?
said
Okay,
about it.
But like other people had said similar things and weren't, even like told anything and like find a little bit much later on.
That's what one of their experts did say about this.
So,
but the company's president is
this
was the president saying if he had said go China rather than go Hong Kong, they would have punished him the same. That's their claim.
Well, I don't believe that, but I think somebody should test that by saying "Go China" on one of their
accepted.
Yeah.
Well, if what he's saying is true, and I agree with you guys, I don't believe him on this, but if what he's saying is true, it does go to show that what I was saying earlier about gaming, they don't want to take positions on things. They don't want to offend a portion of their audience, so they're basically telling their contestants, their players, these professionals, these guys are pros, they get paid to play video games. They're telling these professional video game players, look, you can have your opinion, you just can't have it while you're on our broadcast. Right. And technically, they are allowed to do that. That's not inappropriate for them. They're the ones who are paying for the venue, probably. They're the ones paying for the bandwidth to broadcast this thing. It's their thing.
They put themselves in the position.
It is their thing, and they have the right to suck the salt off Chinese nuts. But it's I'm not going to have any respect for them as well as they're doing it. And I'll tell you what. The Hong Kongers are absolutely right, and even if he did violate a rule, it was Blizzard's sole discretion, so they could have let that go in the interest of justice, and they didn't.
And had they done
boo Blizzard.
Right. They screwed up, and this is some pretty pathetic backpedaling. Had they done what you suggested and let it go, it would have done nothing. It would have been like some guy said something during one part of a broadcast that was 7 hours long or whatever. These things are got to be long, right? It's game playing that goes on forever. So one guy in a tournament of however many people had an opinion, and the commentators could be like, "Well, it sounds like he's got an opinion about Hong Kong, huh? All right, let's move on to the next thing," and then they're done.
And it's not surprising that a guy who lives in Hong Kong would have an opinion about Hong Kong.
Right.
I mean, I have an opinion about New Hampshire. I have an opinion about Keene. I have an opinion about America.
Here's an idea. Let your players be themselves. Let them have an opinion. And it doesn't reflect badly on Blizzard whether one person thinks one thing and another person thinks another. What reflects badly on them is doing something about it and cracking down like they did. And if they had cracked down on somebody who said, "Go China," I would still have a disagreement with that as well. Because, again, it's no skin off their back to just let somebody make a statement.
Right.
And the funny thing about all this, though, is from the Chinese point of view, this is Streisand effect, where, as you say, we never would have known that he had said this. We certainly wouldn't be talking about it on the radio if Blizzard had not been bending over for the Chinese.
Yeah.
And so...
Can you recap the Streisand effect?
Okay, the Streisand effect is somebody took a picture of Barbara Streisand's house and put it up on the internet from a helicopter or a drone or something, and she didn't like that, so she sued them. Well, nobody knew about this picture of Barbara Streisand's house until she filed the lawsuit. And then everybody said, "Oh, well, let's see this picture that she sued over." And they got a whole bunch of people out looking at this picture.
Creating its own problem.
So exactly. She took something that nobody would have known about and made it notorious.
Yeah. So a little bit more here from the statement from Blizzard. Again, saying they would have done the same thing if it were the opposite opinion. The president of Blizzard, Alan Brack, went on to say that since Blitzchung didn't break any rules while playing the actual game, he'll get to collect his prize money after all. So it's okay. Hey, you said something we don't like you saying, but you didn't say it during the game, so we'll give you the $10,000 back.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a start, but is he still banned?
Yes. However, they've reduced the suspension from a year to 6 months.
Well, then I think we should reduce the boycott from a year to 6 months.
Is this the type of thing, too, with like with Facebook, if they ban you just start a new account with a different name?
No, this is a physical
they know
player.
exactly who he is
but
because he's a professional player at tournaments.
They're saying you can't come to our tournaments.
All right.
Yeah.
You may be the best Hearthstone player in the world, but we don't want you.
Let's
you
ban the
said
best
something.
at what because they have an opinion.
Yeah. We now believe that he should receive his prizing. We understand that for some this is not about the prize, and perhaps for others it's disrespectful to even discuss it. That is not our intention. But playing fair also includes appropriate pre- and post-match conduct, especially when a player accepts recognition for winning in a broadcast. When we think about the suspension, 6 months for Blitzchung is more appropriate, after which time he can compete in the Hearthstone Pro Circuit again if he so chooses.
I wonder what they would have done about black athletes who had given the Black Power salute like they did at the Olympics in, I think, 68.
Yep. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I'll give you a little bit more from this pathetic statement from Blizzard, this backpedaling official release. More on the way. Your calls and thoughts welcome. It's Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going. And I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the balance of nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. And you can dial toll-free to join us here. We're talking about the Chinese Hong Kong controversy getting involved in the video game world, where Blizzard, which is a major video game company out there, producer, they've cracked down on one young gentleman who made a statement that was pro-Hong Kong. They took away his prize money, they banned him for a year, and then after boycotts and outrage online, they walked it back somewhat. They said, oh, okay, well, we'll give you your $10,000 back, and we'll reduce the punishment from a year to 6 months of bans from being able to be in our tournaments. But you were still a bad boy because you had an opinion, and you spoke it on our broadcast, and that's not allowed.
Do you think that, like, you know, if the media, the social media in particular, wasn't as prevalent and powerful as it is, that decision just would have stood?
My personal guess is that they made both decisions at the same time. They decided to do one thing and then walk it back a little bit in order to kind of absolve themselves. That's my guess.
You think they
don't
decided to walk it back at the same time as making the decision?
That's my guess, because that
doesn't make any sense.
Damage control.
But they didn't know that it was going to be that damaging until the fallout happened.
They should have.
Well, yeah, you would think.
Maybe they didn't.
I mean, I guess it could be some sort of genius, clever marketing ploy, but I don't understand the benefit there.
I don't think it's going to help them. Because they're still saying you can't have an opinion. They're still saying that in order to be part of our broadcasts, the Blizzard broadcasts, you cannot speak your opinion, whether it's pro-Hong Kong, pro-China, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, or whatever. If you have an opinion, keep it to yourself. That's what they're saying, and that's what their actual final statement is here from their walking back press release, where they say, this is the president of Blizzard, quote, "Moving forward, we will continue to apply tournament rules to ensure our official broadcasts remain focused on the game and are not a platform for divisive social or political views.
God forbid we talk about anything that actually matters."
Right. One of our goals at Blizzard is to make sure that every player, everywhere in the world, regardless of political views, religious beliefs, race, gender, or any other consideration, always feels safe and welcome, both competing in and playing our games. I mean, look, the gaming world, I just want to let you know, before everything became all political with these companies running these tournaments or whatever, before esports, it was just people talking crap to one another on the internet during these games.
It's true, yeah.
Right? That's what happens. The Discord server that we talk about a lot here, Discord came about for the purpose of allowing gamers to talk crap to one another over or help each other if they're on the same team. But, to basically allow gamers to talk to one another. That's what Discord originally was. It's become something more than that for communities like ours. And
I remember my roommate had a PS2, I think. And then he had the accessory, the PSI. It was the webcam. And it had a little microphone on it. And we weren't he set it up, and then I was over at his house. We were playing Madden, right? The football game, on the video.
Right.
But we were challenging people online, playing against 12-year-old kids or whatever.
That sounds maddening.
And he and I were, drinking and talking mad crap. About this opponent, right? And we didn't realize that the PSI was on or plugged in because it had fallen down behind the TV at some point, and so we were unaware. And so at some point, the music that we had cranking stopped, and we hear this little "Hey guys, we can hear what you're saying, right?" Coming from this mysterious place. We're like, "What?" Yeah, we can hear everything you say. And so they heard everything we were saying. We were like, ah.
So you were talking crap about them, and you weren't even intending for them to hear it.
Right.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Right.
Well, what I was talking about is where people were intending for you to hear, just opening up a mic and just saying mean stuff about the other players. That's pretty common in the world of video games because, you got people hiding behind their computers. They're not actually in danger of being found or anything like that, so they say whatever it is they want to say.
Yeah, one of the problems with the internet is people have gotten used to the idea that they can randomly disrespect people without getting punched in the mouth.
Right.
And that's eroded civility somewhat.
855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. The final comment here from the Kotaku piece is that, as has been stated multiple times by fans, players, and commentators throughout this week, it's hard to square this kind of faux neutral political stance with the games Blizzard creates and the values they claim to espouse. This is a company whose games are full of heroes fighting for freedom and equality, and China's handling of Hong Kong has been anything but. All political statements are not equal, and it's disheartening to see a company with Blizzard's legacy stand behind that kind of false equivalence in a time when games are, more than ever, intertwined with culture. Reducing Blitzchung's suspension is a step in the right direction, but in the face of all this, it's still hard for the company's games and statements not to ring hollow. The president of the company, Mr. Brack, opened his statement by saying that two of their core values, quote, think globally, lead responsibly, unquote, apply here. But this isn't global thinking or responsible leadership, it's reactivity and fear of reprisal. It's an abdication of responsibility at a time when it's needed most. And I gotta say, I don't agree with a whole lot of the opinions I see at Kotaku, but that one was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one.
Yes, and they're allowed to say it because it's their website, so nobody can get into it with them over it. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We have mouth-breathing dullard on the line here.
Oh, this guy.
Hey, is this James? James Wittekind?
And my, hey, Kung Fu.
Hey, is this James?
Hey, Kung Fu, I want to give you a Friday funny.
James?
Before I should like to respond to that.
You mean Captain Kickass? Yes, please, give me a Friday funny.
It's very fascinating that Rich Paul said something about being punched in the mouth while he can hide behind a microphone and be 3,000 miles away from you.
Hey, I've invited you up many times. You want to come punch me in the mouth? I'm here for you, bro. I'm ready for you. I'm begging for it. I'll let you take a free shot, my brother. You get one shot.
I mean,
that's going to make three. You hit me, I hit you, you hit the ground.
Do you want us to come pick you up at the airport, too? Or?
Look who's spoken more than I have, Kung Fu. A big fat loudmouth that with all the Bitcoin money that can come down here since he challenged me to get into a ring. He's more than welcome to come down to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. I'll pick him up and take him to a bingo bout.
Are you allowed to drive?
Oh, that's so funny.
Does
and
he
there's
have
another
a car?
one
I
of these
thought he
things
was a
about
parasite
Kung Fu.
living on
hey,
welfare.
Kung Fu.
Do you have a job, James?
Hey, Kung Fu, I still want to tell the joke, but notice how
we don't know who you're talking to.
Which one is Kung Fu?
Notice how so-called ministers are talking over me and insulting and perpetuating a lie that they've been telling for 6 years. Not to mention they put my house.
Now, which thing is the lie? The thing about you being a
they put my house on the internet.
Wait,
notice
you live with Barbara Streisand?
Notice.
How did you live with Barbara
My
Streisand?
house was put on the Facebook page, Kung Fu.
Oh,
yeah.
was that your actual address? Because we need to know that for the restraining
really
order.
Have his life ruined because of it.
Wait, whoa. Which house are you talking about? Is this the one that your parents own?
But I digress, Kung Fu, or Minister Kickass, or whatever you call yourself.
That's even better. I am a reverend, if you must know. Reverend Captain Kickass, it's true.
And I did call in to talk about some serious
spiritual
business,
humanism.
All right, you got serious business? Hold on there, buddy. Hold on there. Hold on. He's got serious business.
Okay.
Do you think he can actually get to it, or is he just going to keep insulting? See, he says he's got something to say, but I predict he's just going to keep insulting.
See, I think we should just hold him through the station break, and then as soon as it ends, drop him.
More coming up. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit godarkbags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Godark bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit godarkbags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's godarkbags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And in about an hour from now, we're going to kick off our Freer Talk Live after show on Twitch and on DLive over at twitch.lrn.fm and dlive.lrn.fm. So join us there for a less censored version of this program. Meanwhile, get on over to helpmetakebitcoin.com if you're interested in getting started accepting cryptocurrency at your business. Maybe you've got a real-life business where people come into a building and buy stuff from you, or perhaps you're a service provider and you come to your customers and provide them with whatever service or product that they need, and you want to take cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash. Well, now it's easier than it's ever been through helpmetakebitcoin.com. Their app is available for iOS and Android devices and any web browser. So you don't even have to have an Apple or Android. You can just use your web browser. And go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. They will walk you through the process. Even if you've never done anything with cryptocurrency before, they'll start you out with a wallet to set up, and then they'll plug that wallet right into their point-of-sale system that they've got. It's super easy. No ID verification, no paperwork. The sign-up is as fast as it could possibly be. It's so simple. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com, and they don't charge you for it.
And I just want to say, too, like the people who know me know I've been talking about Bitcoin forever, right, since Bitcoin was a thing. And everybody, oh, but you can't buy a cup of coffee with it. Well, I moved to Keene, New Hampshire, and I could pay my bar tab with Bitcoin. So, no, it's definitely a viable currency.
Absolutely. Bar tab, barbecue, burgers.
So many
pizza,
places.
Cigarettes, head shop.
Yeah. That pizza that people saw me eating, I paid for crypto. I paid crypto for that pizza earlier at Little Zoe's, which is fantastic pies, by the way. Let's go back to your calls and thoughts here. We have Mouth Breathing Dullard. He says he's got something serious to talk about.
MBD.
I predicted that he can't stop insulting people, but I'm going to give you a chance. Go ahead, James Wittekind. This is James.
Hey,
right?
Harley dude, what's your real name?
Which one's a Harley dude? Me? I'm
May I
Captain
address
Kickass.
you by your real name?
I'm Captain Kickass.
Dude, you don't need to pretend. You don't
I'm
need
not
to pretend you don't know who I'm speaking to. But I should like to talk. Speaking of insults, I'm not the one that ever started with it, and I'm not the one that's ever made false accusations or repeated smears hundreds of times on the public airways. Because I do believe in a just, loving, and vengeful God. And I have my conscience is completely clean, and you're hanging out with liars and losers. And I'd love to talk to you about Bitcoin, but I should like to say that Rich Paul, since he made the challenge about getting in the ring, and he's the one with all the Bitcoin money, that I admit I've been wrong.
You may not be aware of this, but I was in jail for being a stand-up guy when Bitcoin was peaking. So there is no Bitcoin money, moron.
I know you buy it with American dollars, and then you on your every half hour you announce what it's worth in American dollars.
Is this the serious issue, or are you going to keep insulting?
What's your serious issue, moron? You're starting.
I'm a moron.
You're talking the same stupid stuff you talk every time you call.
Harley dude, I got butt into by a guy where anybody can call in and take control of the radio, except for when I call in. And speaking of insults,
well, get to the point, jackass.
You're more than welcome. I was until
no, you weren't.
You
really weren't getting to the point.
Just rambling on in your usual mindless fashion.
I was listening, but like he didn't
can't stop.
actually address me in any way other than hey Harley dude or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
he's got his
Kung
names.
Fu, which is great.
I gotta
love
give
all
him
those
credit.
names.
Yeah, I gotta give him credit. He's really creative with the name calling. I mean,
I do want to just say for a minute that like I do go by Captain Kickass. No, I have not made it my legal name because I consider that my slave name, so to speak, right?
Right.
Captain Kickass, as far as I'm concerned, was given to me out of an endearing situation, right? Some friends of mine coined it, when we were moving, and I knocked over a beer or whatever, and then it stuck, right? And I went through this battle even with social media. There was a certain social media site that took my page down because my name was Captain Kickass. And they wanted me to prove that this was my authentic name. So I produced for them identification that said Captain Kickass from a variety of places because that's the name that I used as a musician. So I had backstage passes, I had, press credentials, all that kind of stuff from when I was a musician that all said Captain Kickass on it. And that was my authentic name versus my state name, right? My state given name. Now, the same thing happens to like the Ogallala Sioux Indians and like drag queens, right? Who have these like, we'll call them pseudonyms, right? But, these social media sites try to take their pages down too because some guy's named like, Jim Two Bowls. And they're like, oh, that's not an authentic name. But it is. That's actually the, name. And so I got wrapped up with all that. So yes, Captain Kickass is my authentic name. I have a slave name, of course, that I have to use for like, getting a driver's license and, all the paperwork with the state. But that's not my real name. My real name is Captain Kickass.
I'm with you, man. I was the same way. I was Ian Freeman by my choice, and I didn't change that legally for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And the reason I changed it legally finally was because the state refused to acknowledge, even though it says in their rules in New Hampshire that in order to change one's name, one just needs to start using the new name. it actually says that in the state statutes in New Hampshire that you don't need to go through the probate court process supposedly to change your name. And so
but you had to anyway?
I took that seriously, and I actually brought that up in court because those were also the times, the 2010 to 2014 were the years where I was getting arrested more often for civil disobedience. So I had a few court cases against me, and I motioned to the court, hey, you should be calling me by the name that I've chosen. Here's your RSA, which is the statutes here in New Hampshire, that say that you're supposed to recognize my name change. And like, well, we're not going to recognize your name change unless you go through probate court. So finally, I just decided, all right, fine. I'll go through the probate court process. So I did that. All right, let's continue here. David is in Albuquerque in New Mexico. Go ahead, David.
First of all, to answer the question you posed, was his name Tommy somebody, and was it John Carlos, the two black guys at the 68 Olympics? Oh, and what I'm calling about is red flag laws. The 68 Olympics, those guys did receive an effective lifetime ban. It was not formally stated, but they never worked in their profession again. They got banned from all kinds of meets, if not all.
Blackballed, right?
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of ironic.
Okay.
And appropriate. Oh, that's funny. That reminds me. There was in Albuquerque, the football team, the Lobos football team, is playing Colorado right now, and they have a former football player from the team doing their announcing as they're on the road broadcasting team, and he made a comment. He says. He says, and he goes like this. He goes, I'm paraphrasing, but he says, and Fort Collins has two German guys on their team, meaning, two guys came over from Germany to go to school, and they're playing on the football team. And then right after that, and I don't think he picked up on what he said, but right after that, he was commenting on a call that the ref had made, and he used the Seinfeld soup Nazi reference and said, "No soup for you." So he referenced these two German guys coming over, and then right after that, he throws in a Nazi reference. I don't think he did it, and he's a black guy. So, and I don't think he picked up on it, but that was pretty funny. An appropriate boycott, instead of going from 1 year to 6 months, would be from permanently to half of permanently. And then on to the red flag laws. Earlier, you had a guy call in and bring up the red flag thing. And and Ian, I know none of you are fans of the United States of America or whatever this place is called.
I love the country. I hate the government.
Yep.
Right. But we're not currently really a fan of it, or the founding fathers or whatever. However, the way I see it, the United States does not exist because people have been paying too little attention over these last 2 centuries. And it's been completely changed from the intent of the people that originally wrote up the controlling law.
I love the founding fathers, and they would have hated this tyranny.
More on the way. Free Talk Live.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Hey everyone, Proactive MD has an incredible offer for our radio listeners only. Stay tuned for our exclusive offer that includes a free charcoal pore cleansing brush and free shipping. Proactive MD with prescription strength adapalene can heal and prevent future breakouts. Today, for just $19.95, we're offering listeners the 3-piece Proactive MD system with free shipping, plus a free gift, the new charcoal pore cleansing brush. Get this exclusive offer by calling now, 1-800-583-8662, or go to proactive.com and enter promo code RADIO. You heard right. Proactive MD plus free shipping and a free gift. The new charcoal pore cleansing brush. You'll get all this for just $19.95 and their 60-day money-back guarantee. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you get your money back. Call now. 1-800-583-8662. That's 1-800-583-8662. Or go to proactive.com and enter promo code RADIO. Again, go to proactive.com and enter promo code RADIO.
Most
most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want. Dial in toll free. You can join us here. 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. And if you would like that previous caller, not David, but the guy before him, mouth-breathing dullard, if you would like him to insult you, just join our Discord server where you can find him lurking in the toxic user zone. And if you speak his name, there's a good chance that he will come after you with threats.
Can we
insults.
monetize him? You know what I mean?
You know, that's what I've been saying is there are people who like to hear mouth-breathing dullard on the air.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe what we could do is, like, if somebody sends in a $10 tip, we'll give him, like, 2 minutes of airtime.
Oh,
if you really want to hear him.
I would do it on the after show.
Okay.
Because then you can just let him ramble. Like you can't just let mouth-breathing dullard go for 2 minutes on broadcast radio, or some program director's gonna, and rightfully so, be upset about that. Like that guy has to be challenged. He has to not be allowed to just go off.
Well, the thing is, it seems like he's been trying to say something for the last 8 years, and I was thinking if we put him on and let him run his mouth for a while, he might eventually get to the point.
Well, he's welcome to call the after show tonight at 10:30 Eastern Time. I mean, we'll have open phones. He can even say the F word, it's totally fine. He doesn't have to hold back. And to his credit, at the very least, he's not dumb enough to drop the F-bomb and make it so we have to drop him off the air. So he does hold back as far as the words.
Like, for a guy who gives me and us crap for our names, he's chosen an interesting handle.
Let's go back to David. David, you said you wanted to talk about the red flag laws, but then you talked about like 3 other things. So let's get to the actual meat here.
Yeah, we're on it with the, like I said, to me, the United States does not exist. It does not exist because by default, they have gone so far, they, being the powers that be, have gone so far outside the controlling law that set up the rules of this country that by definition, this country does not exist. And what you have in place are posers. And they have no legal claim on anything because they're not adhering to the law that controls the operation of the country, and we have no obligation to them anymore. And then
that's exactly what I told the FBI agent who arrested me.
Well, and what's the Lysander Spooner quote here? The Constitution
has either authorized or been powerless to prevent.
Yeah, the Constitution has either authorized such government as we have had, or it has been powerless to prevent it. In either case, it is unfit to exist.
Yeah, like I think it was a good idea, but it certainly hasn't, been able to maintain any sense of what, it intended to be, or at least the words that, as I interpret them, make it intended to be.
Right, and so what you need to do is count their number. I mean, our military is, X number of million, depending on how you want to count it, whether you want to count 2 million or 4 million or whatever.
No. It's about 1.5 million, bro.
Right, but so you count whatever, like I said, that's why I prefixed it with count however you want to count it, and then you can basically cut that in half, because half of them are coming with me. And so you cut that in half, and all you need is an equal or greater number, preferably, to match them, and they're done. That's all you need.
Yeah, so, I mean, if the military splits exactly in half, then it will be the military fighting the military. They'll cancel each other out, and what's left is the citizens. Well, it's easy to predict who's going to win in citizen conflict because half of the citizens are armed and the other half are unarmed. So what happens when unarmed people go up against armed people?
That's a slaughter.
Massacre.
And even the ones that are unarmed that you're talking about, if you arm them, they don't know how to fight. So even then they're lost. And the numbers from the original revolution are probably still good numbers when you talk about the 3% that actually were actively engaged in taking on the enemy, being the government. And then you got 20-30% at both sides. You got 20-30% supporting the government that's in power. You got 20-30% that are rebelling, and then everybody in the middle is just neutral and will get out of your way. So
yeah, they just don't want to get shot by either side.
Yeah, social change is interesting because, you really don't need that many people to make a change. But what you do need is a number of rabid people who are really loud about the change, right? And if you can achieve numbers like that, you can actually affect change.
Now, I can't remember who wrote it, but it was written during the revolution that we do not need a majority to prevail. What we need is an irate and tireless minority working hard to set brush fires in men's minds.
That's what we're trying to do here in New Hampshire. And thank you, David, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. And that's why we need more people to move here and, most importantly, stay here. I mean, we've had a lot of great activists move here, and then they just kind of think, I don't know if they think that the state's going to end in a week, but it's a long process here. This is a lifetime long project, and they end up leaving. And we still have more people, I think, over time. Generally, we've attracted more than we've lost. But all things considered, if we could have retained people like Sam Dodson and Kelly Voluntarist and many of the other folks who'd come here, I think we'd be much better off today.
I wish that they had stayed, but at the same time, if you come and you do some activism and you go home, you've still contributed to the movement. You've still contributed to New Hampshire freedom. So
nobody can take back the contributions that Sam Dodson made. I mean, he did some amazing video work. I just put some of his footage into the recent 420 that we did, the 420 10-year rally that we did 2 weekends ago, I think now at this point.
Yeah, that was
fun. And all three of us were there for it. There were it was 15 folks that came out, relatively short amount of time to prepare. Yeah. We didn't have weeks to build up to anything. But, I made a video since I recorded video of this year's thing, the 10-year anniversary. I kind of did an overview video, which included some of Sam's original footage from back in 2009, included a little bit of footage from some of the Concord 420s that we've done in the sort of the meantime, and then the footage from 2 weeks ago. And I couldn't have done it without Sam's footage. It was fantastic stuff.
And that's the thing, too, is 15, 20 people, in a town the size of Keene, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
We had spectators watching the 15 of us.
It's true.
Like, there were people, I remember seeing a pickup truck with a couple on lawn chairs.
Just sitting in the back watching.
Just sitting watching what we were doing. Like, that was their activity for the day. Let's go watch the protesters.
We used to have that every day.
Yep.
I remember the public defenders would always be standing outside the door to their office and just watching us like, what are they doing?
And there was actually in Sam's original footage on the he called it OTN, Obscure Truth Network. He remember one time there was like counter protesters that came out.
Oh yeah, there was that inbred guy with the sign.
There were several
and
counter protesters.
Well, it was him and his family.
It was his whole family. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and they were all a little broken in the brains, but it was good that we got protesters who were,
not that bright.
They made the cataclysmically stoned people look like geniuses.
Yeah. So anyway, you can go check that out on the Free Keene YouTube channel if you have not seen it. And Lumpy, who's one of our Discord chatters, makes an appearance at the very end of it. He's kind of got the punch-out joke at the end of you'll see it if you watch it at the Free Keene YouTube channel. So thanks for the call, David. Definitely appreciate hearing from you here tonight. Maybe we should save Facebook's Libra news for our after show. We could talk about that because it's kind of a big topic, and we're definitely not going to have time to do it justice in the next minute. So if you stick with us here, you want to watch our after show where we can say things we can't say with FCC rules. So it's a bit of a different show. That's why we call it Freer Talk Live. It'll be available to you in about a half an hour, so about 10:30 Eastern time. That way we got enough time to take a break and do what I've got to do, the archives. I like to get those done before the after show. And so that's coming up. You can go to dlive.lrn.fm. You can go to twitch.lrn.fm, which, by the way, apparently Donald Trump just joined Twitch. I don't know if you guys saw that news.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, he always seemed a little twitchy to me, so that's not too surprising.
Now, I don't know if Donald Trump was aware that he joined Twitch because, it's probably his staff that's doing all the work there.
Do you think it's his staff running Twitter?
No, I think that's him doing Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you think it's his staff on
Well, the first
Twitch.
video on Twitch on Donald Trump's channel was just him giving some speech somewhere.
His commercial or whatever.
No, it was like a speech video. It was just him giving a speech. So it wasn't specific to Twitch. They were just streaming it on Twitch. So I doubt Donald Trump's going to be loading up Overwatch or Hearthstone and playing games. So anyway, we'll see you there in about a half an hour, and you can join us online in the meantime, anytime, over at freetalklive.com. Check out electnobody.com for more of Nobody.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,494, silver at $17.50, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,547. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a group of angry farmers in southern Mexico captured the mayor of their village before dragging him through the streets while tied to the back of a truck, after villagers claim that he failed to deliver on major election campaign promises. The Mind Unleashed reports that police eventually freed the mayor, who suffered no major injuries following the violent ordeal. El Heraldo de Mexico reports the mayor was abducted Tuesday by an angry group of protesters armed with clubs and rocks, who tied him to the back of a pickup truck before dragging him through the streets as a mob ran after him. Footage of the incident has gone viral. Following the incident, a violent confrontation broke out between the group and local police, leaving about 10 people injured. The state attorney general's office said 11 people were arrested. 8 hours following the incident, the mayor appeared in the local square and said that he would hold leaders of the Santa Rita community responsible. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. This week, America's longest war in Afghanistan turned 18 years old, and so did its youngest soldier. The Mind Unleashed reports that over the span of a now 18-year-long war, an estimated 775,000 American troops have served at least one tour in the historically war-wracked Central Asian country. Very soon, the U.S. will begin sending young service personnel who hadn't even been born at the time of the start of Bush's so-called War on Terror. By the numbers, there are 15,364 active-duty enlisted Army members who are 18 years old, and among them, 1,052 of whom were born after the 9/11 attacks. That's according to a report from ABC News. The much smaller, by total numbers, more elite branch, the Marine Corps, has 28,048 active-duty personnel aged 17 to 19. An Indiana church has raised the bar of community service for congregations across the United States after it helped to wipe out $7.8 million in medical debt for almost 6,000 families across the state. The Mind Unleashed reports that Northview Church of Carmel, Indiana, teamed up with RIP Medical Debt to use its over $40,000 in donations to eliminate the unpaid medical bills of families across 10 communities in Indiana. RIP, which is based in New York, helps families suffering poverty or whose debt amounts to 5% or more than their income. Beneficiaries are informed through the program that their debt is simply wiped out with no strings attached. The church, which has 7 campuses across the state, had originally announced it would abolish $2 million in debt for 2,500 families in those communities. However, once they announced their plan to wipe out the debt in June, various other churches chipped in to help the cause. Before long, the donations more than doubled, as Northview congregants clamored to continue the movement. Those donations doubled the effect of the debt relief plan.